Hi everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me, and this is what I've been making today. So today I've made a very quick and easy little card. It's a little 4x4 card, and I put a little flap inside so that it is a gift card holder. Stay with me, show you what I did. This is a piece of real red card. It's 10 inches by 4 inches, and I'm going to score it at 4 inches and at 8 inches. Now, the next bit is completely optional, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my card over so that it's level with the first groove. So there it is up against the butt bar, and I'm just going to move it over so that the edge is just level with that first groove, and I'm going to score it at 4 1/8 of an inch and 8 1/8 of an inch. So what I've done is I'm creating a very narrow spine that will be just enough to fit my gift card in. Can you see that? And it will help the card to close properly. As I just said, that is completely optional, but it is a nice little touch if you think it's worth doing. It doesn't take that long. So once you have your folds, you need to burnish them. Now, burnishing score lines that are close together can be tricky, but just take your time and you'll get there. So I'm doing, I'm kind of pushing my card so that it folds where I want it to. Now I can burnish it. Right. And that's the basis. So here's my gift card, and I'm going to pop it inside that flap, and then I'm going to take the stapler and I'm going to staple from the back to the front a little way in. And why am I doing it this way up? It's because I'm going to cover this with a piece of something that will hold the staples in place. And cover them up so that the back of the card then is nice and smooth. You don't have to do that. I just thought, do you know what? I'll give that a go. Time to embellish the front of the card now, and I've got a piece of paper here from the Playful Pets designer series paper, and this is Whisper White with a real red pinstripe on it. And if I flip it over to the other side, you've got all of these lovely pictures of rather cute little dogs. Just so you know, the cats are not left out. We have paper with cats on, and as you can see, I've already been at this chopping out the cats, fussy cutting them out, and indeed that is what I've done with this paper. I have fussy cut out one of these little dogs here. It reminds me of Tramp from Lady and the Tramp. He's rather cute. So I've got him off to one side. Here he is, ready to go. I've die cut a circle out of that designer series paper. I've used the layering circles dies, and I didn't use the largest smooth edge, I used the next largest, and I cut the largest scallop circle out in basic grey. I've got a 3 3/4 inch square of basic black, and I have run it through my Big Shot with the Tasteful Textures embossing folder. Now this is one of the new ones that works with the new Stampin' Up die cutting machine, which isn't yet available, so I haven't got it. But it's just a little bit too thick to need 2 embossing plates, but it's not quite thick enough for just 1 embossing plate. So if you have one of these and you have a die cutting machine, you may need to experiment a bit to get a good impression from it. Stampin' Up did sell an embossing plate, it was blue, that is just slightly thicker than a normal embossing plate, but I don't think that's available anymore. If you've got an older machine, try putting a few shims, your silicone mats, something like that, but sneak up on it carefully, and when you get it to work, write it down, okay? Write on, you know, the folder in Sharpie if you have to. So I've written here to tell me no adapter plate and just the blue plate only. So that reminds me that I don't need to put any other embossing plate other than my blue one. And I'm starting to have trouble to say the word plate, so I shall try to stop. For sentiment, I used this one from Well Said. Now there is a companion die set that goes with the Playful Pets, but I didn't think it said what I wanted to say, so you know, you can mix and match, nothing wrong with that. So let's get back to my original card. Now before I forget, I've cut a strip of the pinstripe paper, and for some reason I've got the pinstripe going horizontal on this one. There's no law that says I can't. The stamping police will not come and get me. And I'm just going to pop that on the inside just to cover up those staples. Right, now absolutely nothing stopping me from putting the staples in the other way around, and it probably would have been a bit more sensible if I turned the card over and stapled from that side, but you know, lockdown is getting to my brain. Alright, so I'm going to begin with my basic black textured piece. I don't have to texture this, and it doesn't have to be basic black. It can be whatever colour you like, and I've got a card that I've made earlier in the same colourway, but using the colours in a different order, which I'll show you in a little while. Alright, so here is my DSP and my basic grey scalloped circle. So I'm going to pop that on. I'm going to try and get it nice and even, which will be pretty miraculous if it happens, because I'm not good at that. Alright, so before I put that on the front of a card, I have my dog. Now I could use my liquid adhesive, but I found some of these in my stash. They are sheets of sticky dots, and don't particularly need them for this little dog, but some of the cats, if I show you, this cat in particular has got some very skinny pieces, and it's quite difficult to stick him down with a liquid glue or with tape or anything like that. So the sticky dots, if you can get hold of them, are absolutely fine. So the sticky is on this side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my little dog down on the sticky dots. I'm going to rub over the top. Now very carefully take the dots away from the dog, and let's pop him. I'm going to pop him slightly off centre, and I'm going to have my pinstripes going vertically because that just seems right to me. Okay, so that sentiment, kind, thoughtful, generous, that's you. Alright, I stamped it several times onto a basic grey card, real red card, and a basic black, and then I chopped up the pieces so that I've got them as separate words on different colours. So now I've put some of my adhesive into this little bottle, which has got a fine nozzle on it, and I'm going to, oops, that's the second word, kind. So thoughtful comes first. So let's have, where should we put thoughtful? Let's have it up there, just like that. Thoughtful, kind, and generous. And then let's put, and did I mention that I stamped and embossed these with Versamark ink onto my card, and then I put white embossing powder and heat embossed, as you can see. So there's my little dog, thoughtful, kind, generous, that's you. And now that's going to go on to the front of my card. Now you could pop this up on some dimensionals if you wanted to, but I'm going to keep this quite flat for it to go through the post. Alright, and there is my little dog. A little dog gift card holder, and I can pop my gift card inside. And that's the finished gift card holder. Got room inside to write a message. I would probably stick down a square of Whisper White just to make it a little bit clearer for the person who gets this to read. And I've also got room here to add another sentiment if I want to. And just to show you, I'm just going to bring in the one that I did with the cat on the front, which does make me smile because we've got this thoughtful, kind and generous sentiment, and just look at that cat's face. You know, does that cat look thoughtful, kind and generous? But I do have a Persian, and they do have very grumpy faces, even though they are not grumpy cats. They're very, very sweet natured, and this cat just looks so much like my Misty. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you may have encountered her, because sometimes she comes in and joins me. Not so much these days, she's getting to be quite an old lady, and she just lets me get on with it these days. I don't think she trusts me though. So that is it for today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I would love it if you came back and joined me sometime soon, or even if you went back through my previous videos and had a look at them to see if there's anything there that you enjoyed. But for now, thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you again sometime soon. Bye bye.